relax and enjoy this show that we're about to do. Because it's a show, and we're doing it. And it's going to start in 3, 2, 1.
I wish I could escape from this gilded cage, free to fly away like you, my little friend. Back to the real world I've all but forgotten.
The Morning Stream with Scott and Brian and a caveman.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to TMS. It's the Morning Stream for Wednesday, March 24th, 2021. Yeah, you didn't imagine it. There was no show yesterday.
Wait a minute. Wait,
Yep.
I swear I remember doing a show.
I know. That's how memory works sometimes, Brian. You don't know. You don't know what you've done until you've not done it, is what I always say. But, hey, we didn't have a show, and the reason we didn't have a show is because, man, what a day. I'm just going to launch right into this. Okay. Monday, we have a plumber coming over. He's coming at 9. He told us ahead of time that this will probably take him 3 hours.
Okay.
So
9, 10, 11,
maybe noon, you know, no big deal. And he's supposed to come in here and put in a tankless, or as I now call it, thankless water heater. He's doing that because our 2 water tanks that we had, our water heaters, things were full of sediment and starting to rust, and we're going to flood any minute. And we're like, we got to take care of this. And rather than just replace it with 2 brand new water heaters and then do this all again later on,
in several years.
Yeah, just get something a little more permanent and a little more modern. So we went and spent basically our entire stimulus check on, or checks, combined checks on the freaking thing, on the tankless thing, which looks like. Or sorry, go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, I said worth it.
Oh,
I mean, that you're going to save so much money in the long run, and replacing them later on and that sort of thing. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it seems smart. And it looks like this cool, I don't know, alien tech in that room. It's this rad-looking thing mounted to the wall, big stainless steel monster with big LEDs on the front.
They could have gotten H.R. Geiger to design tankless water heaters.
Yeah, we should have got him before he died. He was like, hey, can you stop doing alien penises?
Could you design some tankless water heaters for us?
Yeah, just before you kick off. And he'd say, it is pronounced Geiger, and then die. That's how he would die.
H.R. Geiger, I guess.
I've been saying it wrong my whole life, so that's just the way it is. But anyway, so we got that deal, and we thought, okay, cool. You'll be here for 3 hours, which means we knew that would mean a little bit of downtime for the water. And at some point of the day, I knew at some point in that 3 hours, I knew he had to turn the power off. But it's 3 hours. It's a window I can deal with. The show was going to be done before that part happened anyway. It was going to be all good. And it was. You and I did the show. No issues. I heard a little sound in there, but nothing bad. And I came out of here at it would have been the 3 hour mark thinking, all right, I'll bet this is all done. No, not even close. There's stuff strewn everywhere. It's one dude. I feel like this is like a 2 or 3 man job, and there's just one dude doing it.
Yeah.
And he's nice as knife guy, but I think they just bit off more than they can chew, and they estimated it way under time. They don't charge more, which is nice because they just stick to whatever their bid was, which is really good because he ended up being here until almost 9 p.m. at night. So 12 hours. And now here's the problem. From 11 or so until 7, no toilets, no sinks, no water.
No running water whatsoever.
None of that because he had all that turned off, and it went longer than he expected. So I had to pee in the yard.
Did you really? You actually did go pee in the yard?
I peed in the yard, yeah. I went outside behind the fence where nobody could see me, and I peed. I peed because I had to pee so bad. And our other choices were, hey, neighbor, during a pandemic, can I just bust in your house and pee? Or it was go to a store where you don't know who's what, and some stores don't even have open public bathrooms. So we're just like, I don't know what else to do. We're gonna do it like our forefathers. Just go pee in the yard.
Did. Yeah. Pee in our own yards.
Yeah. So I went outside, peed in the yard very privately. Wow. Whatever. Nobody saw. I don't think. And that was just kind of the day. Now that's one thing. And then the other thing is he's like, okay, I got to turn the power off for just a little bit. And he tells me this, I don't know, half hour before I'm supposed to be on AMTP with you.
Yeah.
And I've already watched or listened to the shows that I'm supposed to be judging. It's all done, and I'm ready for the show. And he says, hey, the power's going to come off. It won't be very long. It was off for like 2.5 hours. That's plenty long. It was off as long as he was originally supposed to be here total.
Just to do the total, right, exactly.
Yeah, so I had no power for a bit. I had no water all the way up till 9. When we finally got the okay and was like there was water, I was like, oh, and I go up and turn on the sink, and it does that thing where since it's had no water in it, it's going...
Yes, right, yeah.
Doing that thing.
So much air in the line, it's trying to push it all through.
But I didn't care.
All over the place.
I didn't care. I was just like, give it to me, give me the water. I mean, I'm a pee all day. And I forgot to mention this part. So later in the evening, I had to pee again because, Brian, I don't know about you, but you drink and you have to pee. It's part of life.
Yeah. It's also called being an old man. Like you basically, it's just on your way back from the bathroom, you realize, I have to pee again, and you walk back and go to the bathroom.
Oh, I'm not quite there yet, thankfully. But it was I don't know, some number of hours later, and I drank too much down here. I was drinking too much water, and I knew while I was drinking water, I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm just gonna have to pee again. This is stupid. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Kim says, well, you know what? There is a little water in the toilet, and we can just, pee in there and then just flush it later. If you flush it now, it'll go away and there'll be no water in there. So don't flush it, but go ahead. And I'm like, oh, well, I could have done this earlier. Now I feel stupid for peeing in the yard.
You could, if it's yellow, you can let it mellow, Scott. That is the rhyme.
Yeah, and if it's brown, leave town. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay,
yes.
good.
If it's brown, best leave town.
Get the hell out of town. So I go in there and I decide to do it. Now my habitual muscle memory kicks in a way that kind of freaked me out, and I'm not kidding about this. I go in there, I pee, and my brain knows don't flush. But there goes my left arm like it's magic and went, I almost could see it happening without, like, out of body. And I flushed it, and it goes all down, and I go, shit, I can't. And she goes, what? I go, I flushed it. I can't believe I freaking flushed it. I didn't mean to. And in my head, I was like, because I don't know where water goes. I don't know how these pipes work. I don't understand anything about this. Yeah. I thought, is this going to send it down to that dude where he's got an open pipe and he's about to get like blasted in the face?
He's like up there looking at the pipe. Yeah, okay, I think that's all clear right there. And
yeah. I thought I was going to blast this dude right in the noggin with my pee water.
Yeah.
And I was just sure of it. And then Kim's like, no, it's just that there's no water to refill it. So now we absolutely can't use the toilet for as long as he's here. I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. And then, like I'm a dope with dope, I walk out of the bathroom and turn on the faucet to wash my hands, forgetting there is no water. I hit it, nothing happens, nothing comes out. A little air goes.
Yeah. It's funny how muscle memory, like you get into stuff like that where it's impossible not to do it because you're just so used to a procedure. You're used to this process, and you can't get your brain outside of that.
It was so stupid. The whole day, just so dumb. And then it all comes back, like I say, 8:30, whatever it was, and he leaves at 9, and it's all good now. That thing's great. It's almost bad because the water never gets cold, so you can just sit in there forever. Just never have a cold shower ever again. And it's nice. It's great, but I don't understand this stuff. I don't get it. This is all freaking French to me, and it was a bad day.
How do they work?
And then, this is the part I only have a theory about because I don't have any proof, but this gets to why there was no show yesterday. We had a show Tuesday or Monday, but Tuesday, where was the show? I woke up in the middle of the night with horrible vertigo and the most rotten headache. And part of me thought, it's just this weather. We're getting some high pressure. I get this sometimes. It's not that big of a deal. Sleep it off. No big deal. Nope. All night long, all morning long. I finally text Brian I had notes and everything prepped. We were ready to do a show.
We were ready to do it, yeah.
And I send Brian a note. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. And,
whenever I get that, because it's rarely, but it's happened to me too, I just kind of close my eyes and I count uno, dos, tres, catorce, and it goes away. It's amazing.
As soon as you get to the fourth Spanish word, it goes away.
As soon as I count to 14, from 1, 2, 3, 14.
Catorce is 14.
Yeah. Uno, dos, tres, catorce. Then it goes away, and
Quattro.
I say hello.
Yeah, I know what it is, chat. It's quattro. Okay, I know what it is. It just for a second there, it didn't matter. That's so I just understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But I did. So that was happening, and it was so bad that I was like, well, I can't do a show. And I had this headache, and I just felt terrible, just awful. And nobody else in the house was feeling that great either. Not as bad as me, but a little bit of this for everybody. And what we think it is there was some really powerful epoxy for the pipes that he put on. And it was stanky,
stanky epoxy, toxic fume.
Yeah, pipe glue, I guess, is really intense. And it's kind of like a Bill Duran moment of where I needed a ventilator or something. Anyway, I think that's what was getting to me or whatever, because after, I don't know, about 11 o'clock, started feeling much better and had the rest of my day, and it was fine. And I'm fine today. No problem today. So don't sniff the pipes is what I'm saying.
Don't snort the pipes. Somebody suggested possibly the vaccine. Now, did you, for Moderna, you get a thing called vSafe, like an app, QR code that you scan, it loads into an app, and basically every day it asks you a question, a set of questions like, how are you feeling? Do you have any of these symptoms? Anything here? Like kind of like an extra method of monitoring how you're doing after your shot. Not just the 15 minutes you sit in the room and do paperwork afterwards, but just keeping track of things. And also it helps identify if there are further problems with the vaccine. Did you get that with Pfizer, or is that just a Moderna thing?
No, I'm a little surprised. You'd think the Germans would be super efficient with the apps, but there's no app that I know of. While you've been talking, I went and searched and just see if there's supposed to be an app, and I can't find anything. They didn't give me anything there.
No QR code or anything
like that?
No,
I had a similar thought. I was just like, yeah, these are known. Some people just have weird reactions a couple days in or whatever, and I guess Kim wasn't feeling that great either. So it's entirely possible that was it too. Boy, that doesn't bode well for my second one, does it? Makes me think the second one's going to be a nightmare.
I'm more worried about mine just because I know how the Moderna, the second dose, hit Tina, like how it wiped her out, and so I'm thinking, oh yeah, all right, well, let's see. Well, I don't have ANTP on the 19th, so that's good. Might have to bump TMS. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. There's like, all sorts of stuff that Monday. It's like, okay, we're going to see what happens there.
I see in the chat, science expert Booby Frankenberger, Booger, says, my wife got Moderna and she didn't get no app.
Interesting. Yeah, and Certified 76 says he got the app with Pfizer. So
maybe there's some state by state thing or something going on.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, if you go to vSafe, it's part of like do a search, Google search for V-Safe. It's a CDC thing, smartphone deal. And you just basically enter in the date you had your vaccine. And then for the next 7 days or something, it's going to ask you every day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. It's a CDC thing. They've made an app. Okay. It looks like it's for anything. Pfizer, any of these. It's basically any kind of, I bet you get a flu shot and you can still use this app.
Probably, yeah.
All right, interesting to look at that. I will look at that after the show. Excellent. Look at all the new learning we're having here today. I now know that pipes and modern plumbing are a thing and that it exists. That's all I learned. I learned nothing else. I learned that you can take advantage. I learned that you can take for granted certain modern conveniences sometimes and forget just how freaking miraculous they are. Because modern day plumbing is, I think, amazing. And when you don't have it, it really sucks. And when you do have it, you're like, oh, I'm back. I'm good. I don't have to think about these things. But back in the day, what were they doing in the 1700s? I know what they were doing. Pooping in the streets and giving each other cholera every 5 minutes. Like
that's right, exactly. Things were a little bit worse for other reasons there. So
yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is plumbing. It's great.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a
Catch
thing.
The wave, plumbing.
And it's great. All right,
it's my max headroom right there.
That was good. It was really good. I almost felt like someone had a TV on or something. I was watching.
Right? Yes.
Some old stuff. We're going to play a game, guys, and that game is called Battle Royale, and to do it, we have to play our theme music. All right, time for Battle Royale with our good pal, not Brian Dunaway. Today we have his stand-in, who often does this when Brian's out of town. It's Mr. Randy Deluxe himself. Hello, Randy. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hola.
Oh.
We haven't even had one aloha. What is this about? We got hello and hola, but no...
no aloha.
No, yeah, what the heck, man?
Speaking of...
singing you too.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you really got me going. Like, I can't get over how you can't look up news that happened more than about 20, 25 years ago on the internet. Like, the internet just doesn't have a good way for you to look up news. And like, you proved it to me trying to look up mass shootings in Hawaii, because I'm sure you found, like, there was one like 16 months ago right at Pearl Harbor, and I'm sure you found the Xerox building one, right?
Yeah, I found the Xerox one.
But like, I thought, oh, you know what? There was a shooting at my uncle's law firm back in the late 80s, like 88, in Seguin, Texas. My uncle was this little town lawyer, and I was like, I'm gonna go look it up online. No, there is no evidence online.
That's interesting. Because the only place I found it was Wikipedia, but no other references. Like, that was it. So that's probably
to put anything in Wikipedia, you've got to reference it, right? You got to have something, and most people just look around online to find that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like there's just a lot of small news, I guess, that's just missing.
It's all on microfiche. You got to go get the microfiche. Fish. All right. Well, it's good to have you here. I can't think someone would be happier to have stand in today, and we're going to play a game. We have a listener on the line already who's been very patient. Let's find out who this is. Hi, who's this?
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
It's Claire.
Claire Gack.
Oh my gosh.
She made it into the show finally.
I'm so glad I'm here for this.
Yeah, Brian or Randy, this is what we call the luck of the Irish right now.
I almost said aloha, Scott, Brian, Claire. I was thinking about saying that when you brought me in.
Yeah, she's look, we had some times that day we played Among Us, and boy howdy was Claire Gack Among Us.
I don't think Claire remembers that though, but we do. We certainly
I
do.
remember it.
Yeah, how well do you remember what happened? Do you remember the part where you yelled that you got what I need and then swung from a chandelier? Do you remember that part?
I remember as much that I know Randy is my biggest fan.
Yeah, Randy's still your biggest fan. I guarantee it. He's the
I
guy.
remember that the opposite way, but okay, it's good. We're good.
Well, it's good to have you here, Claire. We're going to play a game, and Brian's going to explain the game. You probably know all about this, but he'll explain it anyway. Brian, how's this going to work for Claire today?
That is correct. I'm going to be giving Scott and Randy a topic. They're going to go back and forth giving me answers that fit that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, a repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, which I never enforce, the win will go to the other player. Claire, your job is to predict who's going to come out on top based on the topic. Today, you are playing for a couple prizes, a couple games from Steam, courtesy of Matthew Bach. Turok Classic.
What?
Classic game, Turok.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's cool.
And Death's Gambit.
Ooh, also a good game. That's a fine selection. Nothing wrong with either of those.
Yeah, so lots of fun in your future if you win. And listen, I think we're going to make sure you win on this one.
Oh, are we cheating? Are we? Is that what we're doing?
You know, I know a guy who does these games.
We're desperate for Claire to hunt dinosaurs. That's just, we're desperate.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who else? Someone needs to. May as well be Claire.
Loved that game on the N64 Turok.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Turok 2, I guess.
I bought that little booster pack for it. Remember that little graphical?
Yeah, the Rumble.
Wasn't Rumble?
Thing.
What was it called?
Or not Rumble. I'm sorry. It was the one that you plugged right into the N64 itself, and it added more processing power.
Yeah, it had like a GPU booster type thing in it or something. Whatever that was called. It was expensive and dumb, but I loved it.
That's right. Yeah, separate from the Rumble pack, but there was a separate Rumble pack you could get too.
Yeah, and then you had the Rumble pack. Then the Wavebird. Wavebird was next console. Sorry. Anyway, I'm feeling nostalgic for old video games. Go ahead.
Yeah,
that's all right.
And today's category is things you add to your console.
There you go. Ding.
Pieces of N64s that you can plug in. No, this one comes to us from Ivan Wilson, who says, as it is only a few days until the release of the new Godzilla film, I thought it might be an idea to see how many of Godzilla's rogues gallery you guys can remember. Now,
gosh, dude.
There's a lot, right? Between all the different generations of Godzilla films. So I'm going to be very lenient on this. I might even be able to give you points if you just describe what it is, if you can't remember its name. But this list that I have is based on the Toho company Godzilla universe, which also extends into the new movies, all the the current movies.
All right,
So
cool.
we're naming non-Godzilla monsters from the Godzilla universe.
That's a good way. Yes, exactly. Because sometimes they're enemies, sometimes they're allies, but they're always kaiju. So
All right.
there you go.
So Matthew, an incorrect answer. Matthew Broderick is not an answer. We need monsters, not side characters, right? No
Yeah,
side
I would.
characters.
I would. Let me see. No, I would not give you Matthew Broderick or Hank Azaria. No, sorry.
Okay, all right. Boy, you and I remember way
I
too much
have-
about that shit movie.
My list has 35 items
Oh, good God.
and a few extras, but and I'll explain the extras later on. But 35 items on this list, and
And
there
I'm
you go.
allowed to write down like answers that are given so I don't repeat.
I can't
that's
tell
true.
you what not to do.
Okay, all right.
But
We've never really talked about that before. Is that
yeah,
club?
we've said that if you repeat an answer, then I think let's you gotta play fair, Randy.
Well,
No,
hold on. If you
no
write
writing
down answers so that you don't say the wrong one again or repeat one.
Yeah, then it's part of the rules that I say at the beginning. If you give a wrong answer,
Yeah.
repeated answer, or take too long to come up with an answer.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah.
hands behind your back.
Okay.
We need
Yes,
some
that's right.
Specific
Eyes closed.
bylaws.
Sit up.
Don't look
And-
at no chat room,
It's funny.
no Google, no Bing.
We need some special
That-
bylaws for this, where we
That's right.
make sure we outlaw these things.
Don't
Okay,
make me-
I
You
feel
must
don't
be in
make
a
me
room
enlist,
alone.
Don't make me enlist Sam Jane to come over there and.
Well, no, she's not allowed to be in the room.
she'll do it.
Well,
She'll
she
do it.
can. She just has to watch you to she has to proctor. She has to proctor your side of the exam. Basically.
Yeah.
All right. So we
All
got
right.
all the rules down.
Yeah, we're
Claire
good.
is ready.
All right,
All right.
Claire. Who do you want to go first, and who do you think is going to win?
Okay, so if you're not requiring them to be too specific and just give a general description, that sounds like something Scott's good at. So I'm going to go for Scott to win, Randy.
Randy to start, Scott to win. I love it. I love that I'm being chosen because when I can't remember something, I go ahead and just say a bunch of shit until you get it. Oh, that's great. All right. Well, we'll see how lenient Ibit is about that sort of thing as we go.
Yeah,
But-
and I'll give you guys. You get your initial mulligan as always, and I'll give you one more mulligan.
all right.
'Cause that's
Randy,
the
you're
kinda
first
guy I
then.
am.
I'm going first.
Yep.
Yep,
Okay, we'll start with the easiest thing that comes to mind, and that is Mothra.
absolutely. The namesake of my trivia team, Mothra. We began our winning streak with How I Met Your Mothra, and we've been using that name ever since.
Oh, my
Never
Lord.
fails to get me.
Mothra's little helper, same twins, different Mothra, stuff like that. So
Pretty good. All right. Let's go with. I can count King Kong, right?
you can certainly count King Kong because he's on my list.
Okay, Kong.
Believe it or not, the first time those two battled was way back in 1962. So this new thing coming out is, it's kind of a remake.
Yeah, kind of a throwback. Sure, I'm looking
Kind of a
forward to it.
throwback. I am too. I still need to see Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah, I didn't see that either, and I heard the cool thing about that was all the extras, like the stuff we're trying to name today.
Yes.
That was the cool bit of that movie, but overall it wasn't
Lots
a great
of
movie.
extra kaiju.
But I'm into big dumb monster movie. I'm in. So
Yes.
sign me up. All right, Brandy. Brandy.
All right, we're
Brandy.
still in the easy moments.
Yes, of course.
So let's have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Ghidorah. Yes, absolutely. Of course.
screw.
King Ghidorah, Mecha King Ghidorah, all of those are part of the Ghidorah.
Okay, so
Oh,
not
Lord.
able to answer Mecha Ghidorah.
No.
Thank you.
Cannot answer Mecha Ghidorah or King Ghidorah.
All right, then.
I don't know why. I
answer-
don't know why they grouped those, but they did on this list that I'm.
Well, that
looking
makes
at,
sense.
so-
We're just talking about like a category, like
Yeah.
the Ghidorah
Yeah.
category.
Okay. I'm not going to say any more, but yeah.
Okay, well, Mecha Godzilla then. He fights himself.
There you go. That's
Well-
that's what I was like. They have that one as a separate item on the list. That's why I thought it was really weird to group all the Mecha King Ghidorahs. But yes, Mecha Godzilla
I think it's a
from the
f-
films:
it's a
Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla, Terra of Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla 2, Godzilla against Mecha Godzilla, and Godzilla Tokyo SOS.
Wow.
So,
What
but
a
I think the
category.
distinction is faction. It's like if they're bad and oppose him, then you count them one time categorically. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's say there was one named Stan and he had 4 different forms. You just say Stan.
Damn.
But Godzilla,
Exactly.
I didn't want to give one away, Randy. I'm already.
I like that. It's like Godzilla's biggest fan, Stan.
Stan. The Godzilla Stan.
Dear Godzilla, I'm your greatest fan. You didn't shake hands with me when you came out of Tokyo. Now I hate you.
It's a pretty good Eminem. I'm not gonna lie, that's not bad.
I love calling Eminem that white rapper from the 90s.
Yeah, the white rapper. He just put out a new album that's pretty good. I'll just say he does these little secret albums where he just launches them and doesn't tell anyone, and they're pretty good. Anyway,
so I have to be the one that names my favorite whatever other monster from when I was a kid. I don't know why this one just captured my imagination. I used to draw this one. It's Rodan.
Oh yeah, Rodan.
That's the pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl. Yes. Let's see. Destroy all monsters. He was also in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, probably because the two of them teamed up to fight him or something like that.
As a typical American boy, I had G.I. Joe. I had all that stuff. I paid attention to what the army was doing. I thought air superiority was really important as a little kid.
Yeah.
It's Mothra and Rodan. Yeah, absolutely.
Boy, we're really scraping the barrel for me.
Okay. All right.
Rodan's about the only other one I had. Let me think here.
Claire's gonna win. I don't know about Scott.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, Brian's gonna make it so she wins no matter what, it seems like. Well, okay, this is where I might have to be descripty.
Yes.
What if I said a giant spider guy?
Oh, there's a couple of them that fit that category.
There are a couple different giant spiders. Now I will give you.
If you're gonna let her win anyway, you may as well give it to me.
Right. I'm gonna give you. Well, I'm definitely gonna give it to you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you Scylla, Scylla.
Okay.
Because this was one that was introduced in King of the Monsters, and therefore you taking it off of your list doesn't do anything since you haven't seen King of the Monsters. So
okay.
I'm going to give you Giant Spider.
All
but you can't say, on your next turn, you can't say Giant Spider again and get the other ones.
Right. No, I get it. That's fair enough. All right, Andy.
All right, ready to go.
Oh, where to go? Let's go with, so Godzilla had a Cthulhu. Cthulhu is based on a Godzilla monster.
Yeah.
And it was like made of smoke. And its name is something
Cthulhu
like.
was based on Cthulhu. No, do I have that wrong? I thought that was the...
Sure.
Oh,
I'm just talking.
Right.
I'm just doing word association. Anyway, it's something like Hedera. It's a head. It's a big head of
Hedera.
smoke.
Yes, I think it's pronounced Hedera or Hedora. Absolutely, you'll
it's
find
based
that
on a fedora.
Is it now?
Fedora.
Is it?
No.
Hedora indeed is a member of Godzilla's Rogues Gallery.
All right. Let's. I wonder if this counts. There was well, wait. What baby was it? Was it a Kong baby?
You just used a very interesting word.
Was it a Kong baby or another Godzilla baby? And did they fight? I'll say Baby Godzilla, I'll say.
Yeah, say that. Baby Godzilla, right? A.K.A. Manila.
Shut up.
Because he came out of an envelope. Also known as Godzilla Jr. Appeared in the films Son of Godzilla, Godzilla's Revenge, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. Boy, that thing was a star-studded affair.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say these other ones because they contain names of other characters on this list. But yes, Manila, a.k.a. Baby Godzilla, is here.
Okay, Manila.
I remember that he used to like do his little thing, and he would blow smoke rings instead of shooting fire.
Yeah, because he hadn't matured. You got to hit puberty in Godzilla terms.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And in all the words you just said, you didn't say one that I was expecting you to. So I'm going to pull Destroya, which I think is also a child of Godzilla.
Destroya.
The name is actually Destoroya because of Japanese and their predilection to have alternating vowels and consonants. But yes, Destoroyah. I'm looking to see here.
Sounds like a rapper name again.
It's just Godzilla with wings, right?
Well, let's see. I'm getting there. Hold on a second. There we
I
go.
think.
It is basically Godzilla with wings and a unicorn head, but he's
Oh gosh, I love this category.
he was so this Destoroyah was created by the Oxygen Destroyer, the weapon that killed the original Godzilla in the 1954 film.
Whoa, some
So
sweet
it wasn't
lore
a
here.
just child of Godzilla. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's about the same size, but yes, he has wings and a single horn.
Okay. Well, he's got two horns, if you know what I mean. All right, let's see. Was there like
Three if you count the guy in the suit.
did he fight another giant robot that wasn't a Mecha Godzilla, but just a robot man, like a robot looking man? Maybe the government made it.
Yes.
I don't remember. There's some sort of
Yes,
man.
and I can't remember the name of that dude, but it was he could change sizes, right? Is the one
Yes.
you're talking about?
Yes, he could shrink and grow, and he had shot shit out of his arms.
I'm
fists.
gonna help you here. You're describing Jet Jaguar.
Is that really a name?
Yeah, Jet Jaguar.
I don't know any of these.
I like how you pronounce it Jaguar. I mean, I guess yes, Jet Jaguar is the or Jaguar is the Ultraman looking
Yep.
Ultraman
size
is the
changing
kind of
dude.
thing I was thinking of. Yes, it's like
Yes.
Ultraman.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
And-
Yep.
And Scott, if you were really on board right now, you'd be looking up the Jet Jaguar song. There's a song.
Oh, I'll do it later. I don't want the internet in front of me, but yes. Okay, so you're going to give me that one, Robot Man?
I'm giving you Jet Jaguar, aka knockoff Ultraman.
Okay, I'm in. All right, Randy.
So, I think you've reached the limit here for me.
Oh no.
I mean, the thing is, their names are just like ridiculous. I can't remember their names.
Yeah. Well, you give me a description. I'll
There's a
make it
huge
work.
woolly mammoth in one of them.
What?
Seriously, there's a woolly mammoth that Godzilla fights.
Is that
they fight.
true?
It's an enemy.
Yes.
Really?
Now,
I don't know what the name is.
Mega Elephant Man.
there is a woolly mammoth with like a ape body, and it's called Behemoth, and it made its first appearance in this most recent Godzilla King of the Monsters. You don't actually see Godzilla fight it, but apparently it's on screen. You get
Right.
to see
Oh,
it
right,
like
yeah.
when they're doing their
Yeah.
thing. Yes, this thing is called Behemoth,
Okay.
Wow.
which
All
is
right.
also the name of Big Daddy
So
Bohemian's
Scott,
car.
how you're going to win this now? Because I'm done. How you're going to win this is you're just going to come up with something that probably is in the list, and it's there. I promise you. Like that's the thing. You could just say, so I don't want to help you here, but like you could just basically say an animal or maybe a combination of animals, and you got one.
It's a good point. All right, let's go with. Oh, my brain just stuck on what Mothra looks like for some reason. I can't
Right.
picture other things.
Well, switch to a similar insect. There's those. There's a few of those.
all right.
Yeah, or think of another recent movie that I think you probably saw.
Oh,
Right.
Really?
Mhm.
What did I see that was recent? Shit, I'm gonna be annoyed when I
Like
hear this.
maybe the 2014 Godzilla.
Oh yeah, but what did I see in that? I don't remember.
Yes.
I saw
do
Walter
it.
White for 5 minutes. All right, let's just go with a giant praying mantis type unit.
Yes, he did
Let's
it.
give
Is that a
it.
thing?
That's
Is
it.
that
That's the
real?
one I think I was leaning you to. Yeah. So this, if you're, I'm going to say that this is the Mutos, the giant
That sounds like
pair
a,
of Mutos that are the ones that from the 2014 Godzilla film that destroyed Las Vegas. The bastards.
that sounds like a freaking Pokemon or something. Doesn't sound real.
It does. One of them was big, the other one was small. One could fly, the other one couldn't, or something. I don't remember. But basically, they eat radiation and
Like you do.
and they actually appear in the 2014 Godzilla film. Apparently, more than Godzilla does.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, because the Vegas part you're talking about there's a pretty good long sequence of them just sort of laying waste to everything out there in the desert.
That's right.
I like that
yeah,
movie.
you know what though?
It's good. Yeah.
I think so. Somebody said there's an actual giant mantis. The Robo Jeff in the chat says there is actual giant mantis. Kamakuras, I'm going to take off the list as well because that maybe that's the one you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Randy.
Yeah, with the huge eyes, like big bulbous eyes.
That's
terrifying.
Yep.
I'd hope you were saying.
I also remember having nightmares as a kid.
Oh well, don't do those. I had it in my head you were saying Robo Jeff was the name of one of the monsters.
Could be.
Now I'm really confused. But okay, so Randy, it's your turn. But are you out? Are you done? You got to have one more.
I can't think of it.
He's tapped out, Brian. He's tapped out. You know what that means?
Winner, chicken dinner.
That means Claire Gack has won the freaking thing. Claire, tell us how you feel on the ground there in Dublin or wherever the hell you are.
I'm in Belfast, but yeah. No, I feel great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's finally happened. You finally got on here. Your phone's weird. It's a little quiet, a bit of a phone, but I don't care. I like having you on.
Oh,
well, she's calling from very far away.
Work phone.
Yeah, it's a distance thing. They got a little string and a cup, and I know how it works in Ireland. Those guys and their potatoes and their blight. Anyway, hey, I'm so glad you won because we really like you, and you're going to want to send an email to Brian Ibbett over here, coverville@gmail.com. He'll send you your prizes, and you'll walk off victorious. Well done.
That's right.
Check this out.
Just a few more names here on the list that I want to get to.
All right, okay.
Angyrus.
Angyrus. Hold on. That's a guitar player wearing a schoolboy's outfit.
Oh,
that's exactly right.
Okay.
Baragon.
Okay.
Batra.
Okay.
Biolante. Ibira. Gabara. Giant condor. Giant octopus. Gigangorosaurus. King Caesar. Kumunga, Mogira, Manda, Megagyrus, Megalon, Methuselah, Orga, Space Godzilla, Titanosaurus, Varan, and just plain Zilla, which was from the Matthew Broderick, Hank Azaria deal.
I feel
the
like
one that stood out.
Oh, go ahead.
The standout there is that Biolante thing because it's a huge crocodile.
Yeah,
which is just terrifying.
It sounds like you guys are just reading names of people in our chat room. That's what that sounds like.
It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Bunch of chat names. That's a fun
And then
one,
there's
though.
just a few here that were mentioned in King of the Monsters but never shown. Mokli Membe, Baphomet, Tiamat, Typhoon, Abaddon, Leviathan, Sargon, and Bunyip, which I think is a Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all, dude. Well done.
I love how some of them are the names are just nuts, and then others are just named Behemoth.
Right.
Yeah.
Leviathan. All right.
Yeah.
Well done thinking of that one.
Because they're big. By the way, while we were checking here, I wanted to get I've never known how to properly say Jaguar, so we're going to find out right now. Here it is. Here's the official way.
Jaguar.
Oh, see? Hey, look I've been doing it right. I thought I was wrong all these years.
Jaguar.
At least this guy says.
I think that's one of those words you can say two different ways.
Yeah. My mom called them Jaguars when we were younger. Jaguar.
Yeah, that's definitely wrong. That one's definitely
I used to tell her she was wrong, but would she have any of that? No, sir. Hey, Randy, it's always fun having you pop in here and be a part of this. Anything you want people to know about right now? I mean, Film Sack we got this weekend. Is there anything else cool?
Get ready.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out what the Shadow knows.
Oh, right. The freaking Shadow, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm a little angry right now with this will be interesting because I'm kind of mad at Alec Baldwin right now. Because I finished up that Woody Allen documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And I got so pissed about the people that supported him toward the end of that thing because he sucked, dude. He did all that shit. I promise you, he did that dirty business. That guy is guilty as F, and I'm mad at Alec Baldwin and anyone who's just like, well, he's such a genius. I gotta stick by this feller.
I just wish that Baldwin had kept his mouth shut outside of his work because, just watch any episode of 30 Rock from the 3rd to 6th season.
Oh, he's
the
so
guy
good.
is a freaking genius.
No, he's so good.
You know?
He's so good. But in real life, a little bit of a dickosaurus. Anyway, hey, Brandy, I almost called you Brandy.
Brandy.
Combination of Brian and Randy. You've been wonderful, and I hope your day is better than ever as a result. of you being here.
Yes, I'm gonna go fly.
Oh, go fly! All right, he's flying.
Gonna fly now.
Fly like an eagle. All right, we're gonna do one news story. Okay, one.
Okay,
here
all
you
right.
go.
One, just one.
The news.
I don't watch the news either, kid, but it's brought to you by
America's Next Top Podcaster. Yes, we just posted another judging and elimination episode this morning as we go through and review the submissions for the Mark Hoffling interview. All three teams got to interview Disney Channel production designer Mark Hoffling, incredible designer and the guy behind a lot of your favorite designs on the Disney Channel. Also worked on Con Air and the dude's done a lot of stuff. All three teams interviewed him, had to condense that interview down into a podcast. How did they do? Somebody's going home for this. Find out at americasnexttoppodcaster.com.
Yeah, go check it out. That was a really good one. And let's just say, here's the question. Will there be a winner? Will there be one?
Wow. Wow. That's
I'm just saying, will there be a winner? I don't know.
There's nothing spoilery about that at all.
That was one of my favorite episodes so far. So good luck to everybody involved.
Yes, and he was a great guest judge too.
He was great. Yeah, really enjoyed that guy. Turned out to be a Salt Lake native fellow. He lives here still. He's a Utah guy, and he did a bunch of casting and or not casting, but he's involved in the production, like you mentioned, of High School Musical, which my Korean siblings' kids are in. That movie as extras.
Oh, right.
So they were all involved in that. So there's a big circular connection with that guy. He seemed really cool. When things are more normal, I want to go to lunch with him and just talk, see what's going on.
Yeah, you and me both.
Here's your story, your one story you're getting before we go to a break and then bring Tom in here, and it's this. People are sitting on toilets backwards so they can eat while they poo. All right.
So they're putting their food. Yeah, maybe I better hear the story.
Yeah, you might want to hear this one out. So, if scrolling through your phone on the toilet wasn't already grim enough, TikTokers have found an even more disturbing way to pass the time on the porcelain throne. The life hack started with Amy Wah of TikTok fame, who encouraged her 11.6 million followers to do a 180-degree turn and face the flush, essentially pooing backwards so they could eat snacks and stream a TV show in front of them at the same time. This content
this is how hemorrhoids start, by the way. Yeah. Welcome to a new Twitch designation, hemorrhoid videos.
Yep. Hashtag preparation H, baby. Let's see the content. Or no. You have been pooping wrong, she said in the video, and then she shows this. Now it's all over the place. It's everywhere.
And she describes it as pooping backwards. That's not pooping backwards.
Nope. No, pooping backwards is a very different thing.
Yes, exactly.
But she started a whole trend. Now everybody's doing it. A whole bunch of people wrote that they thought this was terrible. Food shouldn't touch bathroom air. I refuse to let food in the bathroom. It's like adding the odor into it, says someone else. Unhygienic, but okay, added somebody. Doctor advised against it, writing your show should be ended with 5 minutes. Should be ended in 5 minutes. Otherwise, you have hemorrhoids.
There you go. Yeah.
Look, they confirmed your little diagnosis there.
Exactly,
well,
and I like how he spells hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids.
HAEM. Is that like British? It's probably a British thing.
Probably.
I don't know. But you sit there with your Corona, your chips, or as crisps as they say here in the UK.
There we go. So yeah, UK.
Yeah. Yep. iPad, prop that up, put on Netflix, and take a dump, have a snack, watch a movie.
Yeah. This is a trend I hope doesn't go anywhere past Amy Woe.
I watched a whole movie that will be next week's recommendal from me, I believe. Unless I see something better between now and then. That I watched in its entirety in the tub last night. Before bed, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to chill out.
Guess it was not the Snyder Cut.
No, it was not. This movie was only an hour and a half long, but I sat in that water for an hour and a half. But what was nice was, if the water started getting a little, lukewarm, not hot enough, you drain a little, and then that water heater downstairs, just keep it coming. Just keep the hot water coming, baby. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Tom Merritt will be here. We're going to talk some tech and see what's going on in his world. Before that, or after that, Nicole. We'll have Nicole. And we'll have recommendals. Brian's got 2. I've got 1. Nicole's got who knows what. So
who knows?
Yeah, who even knows? We don't know until she gets here. So come on back for that. Quick note, by the way, before we go to the break. I started a newsletter for Frogpants called it's just the official Frogpants newsletter. It's kind of all the rage at the moment. It's weird. It's this thing everyone thought was dead, but it's kind of taking on new life. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that is,
in general, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is social media just it's too blippy and too scroll past it and too
too
ephemeral.
Temporary or too
which is annoying. And I think people are looking forward to more kind of long form conversation and stuff like that. So I'm giving a try at it. You can go sign up super easy at frogpants.club. Yeah, that's right. I got a domain and I got a .club domain just to use for this. So go use it. It was also really cheap. It was like $5 or something. Anyway, frogpants.club. It'll take you there. You just stick your email in there, and now you're on the list. And it's free and and also very easy to unsub from. It's a legit thing. It's basically based on a bunch of advice I got from Jury and Tom about the way they're doing theirs.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to put some extra art in there, talk about show stuff in there, have some guest articles once in a while. I put a thing up today about that plumbing mess. Anyway, if that sounds interesting at all, go to frogpants.club and sign up. It's also linked on the main page of the website. You can find it there. Okay, Brian, let's play some music. Do you have a selection I can hear?
I do. I have one song queued up for this. We're going to go up to Calgary, Alberta, Canada for a punk rock group called Belvedere. They've got a brand new LP coming out May 14th, courtesy of Thousand Island Records in North America, and then Lockjaw Records outside in Europe and the UK. So big thanks to both of those agencies for sending this along. The new LP is called Hindsight is the Sixth Sense. This is Belvedere. These guys are awesome. Totally dig this. Here's the first song, Elephant March.
Don't bring me a beer right now, woman. My hand's making sauce.
If we don't get what we want, then you can whistle Dixie.
The morning stream. It's totes fat.
And we're back. Welcome back to the program. Brian, that song again was?
It was Belvedere, and the song is called Elephant March from their upcoming album, Hindsight is the Sixth Sense, coming out May 14th.
Very, very nice. Yeah. All right, everybody. Tuck in, because we're about to talk tech, and we're going to do it with this.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
I can confirm that that's true, and the man in question, he's always in question, is Tom Merritt, everybody.
He is he a man?
Yeah, he's a man, sure. He's a man's man.
Or Astro Man.
Oh! Wow. Hey, how would you have done? Earlier we did a contest where we had to Randy guested, and we had to name all the secondary sort of rogues gallery of Godzilla
the monsters
movies.
in all the Godzilla movies that aren't named Godzilla.
Yeah.
Ooh,
how would you have done? I feel like you would have done
I'd probably be 50% on that. I can never remember all the names.
Yeah.
I know Mothra.
Right. Now, if I said Mothra, do you have a stuffed Mothra near you could grab and prove to us that you can grab anything?
See, that's not the way the magic works. You can never do it on demand. Yeah, no, I don't.
That's like when you tell somebody you see some magic and say, wait a minute, do it, turn around and do it. And you're like, no, that's not how this trick works.
Now, the key to that trick, and I've given up trying to keep it a secret, the key to that trick is to know what's around me and work it into the conversation.
Gotcha. Well, all right. None of that matters.
Like this one, Scott,
well,
right here?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me pull up your video.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, all right. Dude, where'd you get that? That's great.
That was a toy from the Godzilla line a few years ago, and because of the team name, we basically had to pick one of these up. When we could bring stuff to put on our table, this was our good luck charm.
That's fantastic. I love that. All right, Tom, it's good to have you here. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world of tech today because no one else will tell us. You're the only one that comes in here and tells us. So
I know. Why? What is wrong with those other people refusing to tell you the technology news of the day? As I have of late, I'm going to give you some choices. We could talk about Tesla letting you buy cars with Bitcoin. We could talk about Intel deciding they're giving up on just making their own chips. They want to make chips for everybody. Or we can talk about a toilet that doesn't need a septic tank and is cleaner than your toilet.
Whoa.
Oh, by far the toilet story.
Yeah, like
right?
I just have my plumbing mess. Why not? Well, yeah, let's go plumbing.
Can you buy this toilet with Bitcoin though?
Yeah. Is there
I don't know. I want to say probably not, but you just never know these days.
You never know. It's true.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Tiger toilet doesn't use water. Instead, your waste is essentially composted inside a compartment that reduces smell, reduces the volume. Its only byproducts are water and carbon dioxide, and the final solid waste can be used as fertilizer. And used to safely fertilize plants. So those people eating their lunch could do the full farm to table thing.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So it's like, well, I mean, we all saw The Martian. We saw him pooping on potatoes.
Please let me know which restaurants are doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me know right away.
Well, and the thing about it is your waste isn't suitable for putting on your potatoes without treatment. The thing to remember from The Martian is he didn't just go out and poop. I mean, obviously it was very cold out there, but he had to remove the pathogens. And the Tiger toilet removes 99% of pathogens from the final waste product, which is very good and allows it to be safe to be used out in fields.
Is this affordable?
So how? Yeah, let's go to that question first.
Is it affordable?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Is
it what?
Can I afford it?
Well, it's being marketed in India. So you're talking about there's a lot of subsidization going on, but it's being used in rural communities, places where people can't afford indoor toilets, and there's communal toilets, stuff like that. So it's not really being marketed on a home base. So I don't have a retail price, but yeah, it does seem like it's fairly affordable, especially because you don't have to deal with septic tanks and standard plumbing and any of that.
Yeah. Brian, you're gonna ask.
The next question is how do you get past the smell then? Because one of the things the water does is act as like a seal to
cover
the poop.
Yeah, they say that because of the way it's broken down, you have less smell than a septic tank.
Wow.
So I don't know how they secure the compartment to keep the smell from happening immediately.
Right.
But apparently, the process works fast enough that you really don't have a lingering smell.
Yeah, this feels like something that I have to clean more than a regular toilet.
No.
No?
Okay.
In
fact, let me find this part.
All right.
The first issue is maintenance. Tiger toilets as old as 5 years have not required any form of maintenance yet. And there is a reduction of bacteria on the sides and the bowls.
Oh, look at that. See, Brian, maybe less cleaning.
Less cleaning. Okay.
Yeah. It's saving you time instead of giving you more things to do. But here's the thing. These aren't, the concept of compostable toilets, as the chat room points out, isn't necessarily new, but what we're looking at here is one that could take hold as I don't mean mainstream, but an iteration finally to the point where this is though subsidized, an affordable thing for a community to install, like to have and to maintain and to
right.
use.
You could, in these places that can't afford indoor toilets, these are affordable enough to be indoors. So,
right. They should get some Gates money because Bill Gates loves the toilet stuff. He's super into it.
Bill Gates is funding this, actually.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
The Gates Foundation granted $5 million toward the research and development of the project in 2015.
Oh, well, fantastic. For all I know, I watched that documentary and it spent most of the time.
Tiger toilet retails for $350.
Oh, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Considering what it is, like, a toilet a regular house toilet at a Home Depot is going to cost me anywhere between a cheap one at $50 to some nice ones at $400. This is in that range.
Right. This is like, this is the cost of one of those that has a built-in bidet kind of thing.
Yeah. It seems all right.
Yeah. There's one more piece of information I feel like I should let you know.
Oh no, here it comes. Here's the other shoe dropping.
Uh-oh.
The compartment that breaks down the waste is full of tiger worms.
What?
Hence the name Tiger Toilet.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Are they actual worms, like actual organic Like worms?
Tiger worms in nature rely on the droppings of animals like cattle and horses, but they are just as happy eating your waste as well. They don't try to escape because their survival depends on the waste. And they just stay there in the little compartment in your toilet.
But what do I do? Do I go to like a Target and say, "Give me a box of fresh tiger worms"? Like
I think the ones you get last a lifetime.
Oh,
okay. I would imagine they last a long time. Yeah, as long as you keep pooping,
keep giving them stuff to eat, they'll keep making more tiger worms.
So the worm, I guess they'll just reproduce like they would in a natural setting. But do plumbers need to have somebody on staff now who understands this new?
No plumbing.
Yeah, I guess there's no plumbing.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, on at originalorganics.co.uk, you can buy a box of tiger worms for £10.
Really?
Oh, not bad.
How much can I buy 10 pounds worth of tiger worms on Amazon? I want to buy the weight.
How many tiger worms come in a... Yeah, the number of worms per pouch is dependent on the size of the worms. If you're redeeming a worm card voucher, please type claim voucher into the search bar and redeem your voucher.
A worm card voucher?
Yeah, if you've got a worm card voucher, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is fantastic.
They don't jump or anything, but, best not to think about them too much.
Yeah, don't think too much about the worms. Try
worms,
to
Roxanne, I was afraid of worms.
Why did it have to be worms?
I mean, we laugh at a lot of this, but just innovation in that space is a big deal for parts of the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is having an effect already in India. More than 4,500 toilets have been installed there. So this is a real thing that's out in the wild.
Yeah, you want those
worming its way through the system.
I was afraid that was going to happen, and it did. All right, well, excellent. This and other great stories. I don't know if you guys talked about the. There's supposedly DTNet's not famous for talking about rumors that have zero meat to the rumors. But there is a bit of a rumor floating around that the Switch may be getting, or a successor to the Switch may be getting that DLSS tech from.
We did talk about that because that was from Bloomberg, and also I think there was another source out there, but the news recently, Bloomberg had already been reporting that its sources said a new Switch was coming. The news recently was that it would include one of the NVIDIA GPUs that supports DLSS, deep learning super sampling, which would allow it to upscale properly coded games. So it wouldn't work backwards compatible. The game would have to add code or come out with code that supports it, but then upscale it to 4K, which means the Switch could stay small and relatively inexpensive, but still output at 4K by doing this upscaling. And the DLSS on the NVIDIA RTX 20 series that's out apparently works really well. In some cases, it looks even better than native 4K.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I want people to understand this. Obviously it's a deeper topic we don't have time for today, but this concept sounds dumb on the face of it, where you say, "Oh, you're upscaling. Everyone can upscale. It's going to look all pixelated and blurry." No. They took some of this testing I saw. They took I can't remember the game. It was maybe Valhalla or something like that. I don't remember. Anyway, they took it and they said, "All right, we're going to output this at 800 by 600, like the crappiest resolution possible, but then we're going to use this DLSS tech to upscale that output to 4K, and it was so pretty. It looked better than the game runs at 4K natively when they did it this other way. It's legitimately cool technology. So I hope. Well,
because it's using deep learning. So it's where when you master a game at 4K, you have humans making it probably, unless they're using deep learning to master it, right? Whereas the DLSS is saying we're really good at taking the pixels out of a game and turning them into pixels that are 4K. We have trained this thing really well. So you don't have to know how it works; it just does. And with video games, that's a lot easier than video, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know that DLSS does as good of a job on your, streaming 1080p video. But with a video game, you've got a more controlled situation of what the pixels are doing and where they're going, and DLSS works great on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really something. The stuff I've seen really blew my mind. So I hope Nintendo is actually considering something in this vein. It would really go a long way to keeping things backwards compatible, keeping that ecosystem running, but offering some better TV output stuff, because right now 720 is not going to cut it, or even 1080p in very few cases for most of their games. They need to up that game. So we'll see how that goes. All right, more of this and many more other fantastic topics today on the Daily Tech News Show. I'll be on today, as I am most Wednesdays, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And Tom, I owe you a bit of thanks for showing me the way on the newsletter front. You've got a pretty rad one yourself, and decided to launch one based on you and Justin, a few other people recommending stuff. And I'm having a blast with it so far, even though I've been only doing it since Monday. Anyway, people should have go find yours as among whatever else you want to mention today. What else is going on in Tom's life?
No, I enjoyed reading about your tankless tasks.
Yeah.
In today's newsletter. If you'd like to find out what I'm up to, from the allergies to actual podcasts, Free Tom newsletter. Doesn't cost you a thing. freetomnewsletter.com. Thanks to everyone. I know this is working. I've been mentioning it in a lot of different places, but I've seen a lot of you joining up. And a lot of you emailing with thoughts, and that's been fun to email back and converse. So if you'd like to be part of that, freetomnewsletter.com.
Go do it. It's great. And big thanks to you again for the great advice. Tom Merritt, everybody, Ace Detect on Twitter. We'll see you a little bit later today.
Bye.
Bye now.
Yeah, Scott. Plumber came over, and Scott said tanks, but no tanks.
Yeah, tanks, but no tanks, please. He did take the old tanks with him, which I appreciate. But he had to do it by himself, and that seemed wrong. Like, they were huge, sediment-filled, heavy tanks. Yeah. And they were about to burst, and he was worried about that, so he had this plastic run everywhere over any carpeted areas, and he just looked like it was, I just felt bad. Like, I think it was a two-man thing, and they got spread thin, and he had to do it himself, and that's why he was here 10, 12 hours or whatever.
Damn.
Anyway, bad day. All right, we're going to Nicole this thing up proper.
Yes,
here.
we are.
Am I, though? Hold on.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, yes, we are. Yes, we can. Okay, she's joining us shortly, and when she does, I'll hit this here button, which is ready to be pushed any minute now, as she joins the call any second from Nicole Spag, everyone. Answering the call. She's not answering.
From Spagtown, Colorado.
Still no answer. Get the rings of ringage. Just not the rings of speakage. I'm going to save the show here. Okay, we'll see what happens here when I re-ring her.
Mark!
Yeah. Ring. All right, we'll see what happens. Hang in there, chat. People at home won't hear this because I've paused the recording. Oh, I think I see her. Hey, you guys, look who it is. It's Nicole Spag from Colorado joining us as she does every Wednesdays.
Sorry, I was making a vet appointment for Millie. She hasn't been feeling well. Can you see her?
Oh, what's the
yeah,
matter?
she's doing this weird thing. It's not really cough. It's not really vomit. It's just a...
Oh,
like retching.
And I don't know what it is. Yeah,
Dog
it's like
retching.
Well, it's like she has something caught in her throat and she can't get it out, right?
Oh.
And
Maybe
she's
she
the
got a
kind
little
of
something
she's a
there.
garbage dog. So I'm like, does she have like
What did she
aluminum?
eat?
Like what
Yeah.
did she eat?
Remind me, the dogs breed. This is the one that's like my dog, right? Rainer and this dog.
She's
right?
She's a Doberman. Yeah,
Oh,
but
I'm
she's
thinking of something
not
else.
cut, so she doesn't really look like a Doberman that much.
Right. She
Oh.
looks a lot like
Cut.
mine.
I'm not cut either.
No. Brian's is so big, he puts a zipper in it and keeps change in it. That's how big his little purse bag is. Just kidding. Anyway, hey, Nicole, it's good to have you here.
Oh my goodness.
We're glad to have you
my.
back. I'm glad your snow's melted, and I'm glad we could do recommendals once again here on the show.
Me too.
we,
It's
Snow's
snowing again, by
melted,
the
but
way.
yeah, we're getting more
Yeah.
snow. But
Are you getting
a
more?
less snow melted, but now we got more snow.
Oh man, we're getting some
It's
today
all right.
as well. But hopefully, we have painters too right now. Thankfully, they don't have to shut power or water off to do anything. But they're kind of also bugging me because the HOA made us paint. Anyway, it's a long, sad story. Not getting into
that's
it
a
today.
good time. Isn't that a good time?
It's a
when the
great
HOA
time.
just says-
HOAs can bite me in the butthole. All right. Hey, let's do our first recommendal. This is Brian's got two of them today, so we're gonna dive right in. Brian, any setup for your first recommendation?
Yeah, so I've got a series and a movie, and the series is brand spanking new, and maybe one of the weirdest but coolest things I've seen in a long time.
All right.
And you're going to hear, you're going to hear a clip from Pedro across the street.
Oh, all right. Well, here we go.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor. I'm in my car, headed for the airport, and suddenly I got that feeling I may have forgot to lock the front door.
I hate that feeling. I know it.
So would you mind going over there to check? Just real quickly for me. I'd do it myself, but I'll miss my flight.
Check your front door?
If you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
I'll stay on the phone.
All right, heading over now. All right, I am crossing the street, and oh shit!
What?
Man, I think your front door is actually open. Like completely open. You want me to call the police, or?
Maybe. Do you mind just taking a quick look inside, make sure everything's okay? Okay.
I would say no.
Yeah, that's a
yeah, he doesn't know much about Pedro across the street, but things don't go well. That's Pedro Pascal and Mark Duplass that you're hearing there.
Really?
Yeah, in one of the episodes, which are like 12 to 15 minutes long each, of a brand new TV show called Calls. Yeah, Leninade got this. It's a brand new show on Apple TV Plus. This is like very Black Mirror combined with I don't know what combined with a podcast.
What happened when he went into the house?
You'll just have to listen to find out.
No.
Well, you say, listen, what are the visuals in this thing? Is it actually acted out?
That's the thing. The visuals are what makes it kind of wild. So the entire story, all 9 episodes, are told through the process of phone calls. Mm-hmm. You're listening to the phone calls. Meanwhile, on screen, you're getting transcription of those calls with the words appearing as people are saying, which is really cool. Yeah. And weird kind of visualization stuff that happens along with them, with like waveforms and stuff like that. It's a
podcast.
It's a podcast, but the visuals do add something to the story that you would not get as a podcast. There's like some cool visual stuff that happens with their words depending on what's happening to them. You can get through this whole thing in like 2.5 hours, right? Because it's 9 episodes. They're all really short, but you've got Aubrey Plaza, Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown is fantastic in this thing. Judy Greer is also in that episode with Pedro Pascal and Mark Duplass. Karen Gillan from Doctor Who. Rosario Dawson. It's a big cast, none of whom you ever see on screen.
I'm guessing this was probably done during quarantine.
I'm pretty sure it had to have been, yeah.
You know what? I like that because the stuff I don't like that was done during quarantine is all the stuff where they're constantly talking about being in quarantine. I hate those. It's the ones where they get creative.
And episodes of TV shows where they're on Zoom.
Yeah,
it's like, I get enough Zoom in my life. I don't need.
That's what I mean. I hate that. The only show I like, the only show I've liked at all that deals with quarantine directly is that Superstore show. Because that's all about a retail.
It makes sense
thing,
too.
Right?
Yeah, I mean that one, right?
And it's funny. They have whole jokes about Karens and running out of toilet paper, and like they really dig into it. But the ones where they're just sitting on Zoom going, "Oh, here we are, the pandemic and this and that." Hate it. Mm-hmm. This stuff where it's like, they creatively found a way to make something without having to have everybody cramped in a room. That's cool. I like it.
John Wilson. John Wilson handled it really well too.
Yeah. Oh, I love. Dude, did I tell you how much I ended up loving that?
Yeah.
Gosh, dang it, I love that. And there's a season 2 coming. I can't wait.
Anyway, so this is called Calls. It's on Apple TV Plus. If you've got access to it, this is a really, really cool thing. It's already got like 88%, or when I looked last, 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's only been out for 5 days. But like I say, you can get through this thing really quickly, and it's very, like, if you like Black Mirror, you'd be surprised how much they can do with just audio to give you this really creepy story going on. Some time travel kind of stuff. It's excellent. It's really good.
Sounds good.
Calls, and it's on Apple TV Plus.
Nice. Tell me about your number 2 here.
Number 2 is a movie, and if you've been following what I've been doing and you know what I do this time every year, then there's only a couple left that you could probably guess that this could be. So let's see if we can figure it out.
All right, here you go.
This is your chart, Ruben. Now, as far as the volume that you can hear, you, on your right ear, were 28%, and on your left ear, you were 24%.
That's what?
On the left ear, you came in at 24%.
Okay.
No matter how loud I made the test, I could have put it at 11. You were still going to miss 70 to 80% of the words that I said.
Okay.
That is not good.
Yeah, I see that. So what what can we do about it? How do I get it back?
Well, you have to understand something here. Whether or not this is related to your exposure to noise or it's an autoimmune issue doesn't really matter.
I understand I got a problem. I'm asking you what I can do about it.
Is that one, the metal one?
It is.
It's the drum. He's a drummer.
He's a drummer. Sound of Metal. Yeah, he's so Riz Ahmed plays a drummer in kind of a thrash metal kind of band, a duo basically. It's him and Olivia Cook from Ready Player One and Bates Motel. They are a duo that have this. They're on tour and they're performing live, and because of all the excessive volume that he's been exposed to, he starts losing his hearing, and it gets really bad, as you can hear. So he has to basically change his entire life, the way he does things. His livelihood is drumming, and he can't do that if he can't hear. He can kind of try and get by with cues from with Olivia Cook, but you know, that doesn't go well. So he's got to start learning sign language and figuring out a way to get around this thing. This is here's what's great about this movie is they do an amazing job, more than any other movie I've seen that deals with deafness. They do a great job of making you feel like you're experiencing it at points in the film as well. There's certain scenes that are done with not just dropping the sound, but compressing the sound into what you would hear if this was happening to you. And it is it's so good. Riz Ahmed is really good.
He's never not good, that dude. He's good.
Never not good. And that thing that he did with John Turturro a few years ago on HBO, The Night Of,
oh, so good,
was just fantastic.
Yeah, that really got me, man. That thing stuck with me. I could not stop thinking about it. And they were talking about making a whole follow-up series and multiple seasons that were all about John Turturro's character taking on new cases. I don't know how that would have worked and if that ever fell through or whatever happened with it, but what if that was freaking fantastic.
Yeah, and he was so good in that. Not a lot of other performers that you'd recognize in here. Paul Raci, Lauren Ridloff, Matthew Almeric. These are people who you've seen in stuff, like a guy from Quantum of Solace. Paul Raci was in Baskets and Parks and Recreation. A lot of character actors and stuff, but Riz Ahmed and Olivia Cook, for that matter, both really, really good in this. And it's a great story. And
wasn't somebody there's a best supporting actor in this that everyone's raving about, older guy,
probably Paul Raci. Yes,
is that the guy? Okay,
that's the guy. And he's
supposed to be incredible in this.
He's really good, and I believe he's I have to look at a photo of him to confirm, but he's yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, he plays kind of the mentor that Ruben starts looking to help him get through this. And his no nonsense, my way or the highway kind of attitude is so it's such a great deep character. And the reasons for that attitude are so good. So yeah, Paul Raci, he's getting awards or nominations all over the place.
As people were saying, he's just like this
Amazon,
long,
right?
It's on Amazon Prime, Sound of Metal.
He's supposed to be this long time, like, stage actor guy that everyone loves working with, and they're all just stoked that he's just getting recognition for this thing.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So I shared a Oscar-winning short. I think it was from last year called The Silent Child.
Yes, this was
it's
so
like
good.
20 minutes. It's on YouTube. I shared the link with you. I caught it and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That one's another heartbreaking but sweet. I totally remember this one. Yeah, the shorts are so good. Like Shorts International, I think is the group. Every year around this time, they post a video that you can download of all of the animated and all the live action shorts, and sometimes the documentary shorts. And that's as good as renting any movie, in my opinion. These things are always so good and so well done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Very cool.
I started teaching Ava sign language. We're doing our alphabet.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
She's doing actually pretty good.
Yeah, kids pick that stuff up fast.
Yeah.
It's nuts. That's how Van used to say whether he was full or not. He would use sign language to tell us. And
yeah.
In some
All
ways,
done.
In some ways,
My
he would
favorite was
stop.
the all done.
Oh,
yeah, it's the all done.
Is it more something like
More.
Oh, that's it. Right. Yep.
If anything, it slowed down him actually saying the words. But now he's saying it. He's not doing the sign language as much. But that is cool. I'm glad you're doing that. All right. I'm going to tell you about a thing that I watched that I really liked, and it was short and sweet and to the point, and the kind of documentary that you don't need to invest in 7 or 8 episodes. It was a good standalone documentary I just saw on Netflix, and I liked it. That's all I'll tell you. See if you can figure it out. Here you go.
Maybe, I don't know, every few years somebody will bring it up or something, and I'll tell the story. Maybe I'll tell it at a party, how I got a guy off from murder, impress a date with it. I don't know.
It's a dangerous thing to do, to go around viewing life from the what-if perspective. What if we hadn't done the deal with Larry David? What if the camera crew hadn't gone to that aisle on the field level? What if his daughter had decided that she didn't want to go to the ball game? What if he hadn't made the phone call? What if?
Okay. Any ideas?
Wow. I thought that was Larry David. Yeah.
It is.
But I had no idea he
and in some ways,
did anything outside of.
I hope this doesn't ruin it for people at all, but I thought it was important to at least explain why the documentary is so striking, because that is Larry David, and he was involved in this thing that just is, it's crazy. Okay, so the thing's called Long Shot. It's been around for a bit, 2017. I didn't know about it. It was a Netflix original documentary. I'd never seen it or heard it, but I saw that it was trending recently, and I'm like, oh, well, let's check this out. A little true crime, never hurt nobody. Let's see what's going on here. And it's about this guy, Juan Catalan, I think is how you say his name. He was arrested for murdering a 16-year-old that he was adamant that he didn't commit this murder. He's got a little girl, nice guy. His older brother had been in trouble, but he'd sort of stayed out of it. Huge baseball fan, just kind of a quiet, sports-loving kind of a nerd. Super devoted to his daughter. And he's thrown in jail for this murder. And this is in L.A. And circumstantially, it looks like a open and shut case. Somebody claimed they saw him on the street when it happened. They put him at a location. They had a court artist draw who it was. It was strikingly similar to this dude's face, although there's a lot of weird racism stuff going on with how artists work in court systems and people of color. But anyway, the story is, look, I was at this Dodgers game. I promise you, I was at the Dodgers game. And they're like, nope, we have you placed here where there's no proof you were ever at a Dodgers game. Did you ever use a credit card? Well, no, I paid for everything with cash. Well, there's no way to show you were at the Dodgers game. We think you're making that up, blah, blah, blah. And it was getting real ugly. And this defense lawyer got involved because he was like, there's something weird here. First of all, the guy just seemed extremely genuine in his interrogations, in all the statements he ever gave. It just didn't feel right that this dude was the one that did the killing. And so the long shot ends up being the only proof they can find of ultimately that he was at this game is in season 3 or 4 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry, do you remember this, Brian? You probably remember this episode. Larry takes a prostitute he finds in the middle of the terrible traffic on the 409 or whatever, ends up taking a prostitute with him to a baseball game.
Okay, yeah, sounds familiar, right?
And he meets Super Dave Osborne there, whatever his name. I forget his real name.
Yeah.
And there's a whole
Funkhauser.
thing. Yes, that guy. And they're meeting there in this baseball stadium, and the production, you get to hear about all this. The production wanted it to be a real game so they could just have a giant crowd and have it just feel like Larry's at a game. And so they do that. And the only section that they had to kind of stop people from walking in and out of was where Larry David was being filmed. And they were like, well, since none of the footage of the security stuff's working, we can't find anything else to show that he was at the game. Let's look at their production tapes and see what we can find. And maybe we'll catch a glimpse of this dude and his daughter at this game. It's a little girl. She's like 4 years old. And so they have this scene where Larry, and they've gone through like all the tapes almost, and they're like sad that they can't find anything. They're really disheartened. And then suddenly on one of these tapes, on one angle of Larry David, a long shot of Larry David, you see this dude who's in jail right now walk in front of the camera. He wasn't supposed to be let in there. The PA screwed up and let somebody walk through. You see him walk through with his little girl holding her hands, got popcorn, and tells her how to scooch into the thing and have a seat. It's this like perfect close-up of this dude getting in and sitting down at the time they say the murder was committed. He's at this freaking game. And then later they found another tape, which was a wide shot that showed another shot of him up, kind of a small shot of him scooching in and sitting down that matches the close-up video. And basically got this thing thrown out. But not only that, it got two of the police that did the thing basically admitted to lying under oath, making up stuff, trying to cheat this guy into incriminating himself and all this sort of thing. So they got busted. The prosecutor looked like a complete hose bag. And then they bring Larry David in on this thing to talk about what it's like to be involved in a case like this. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was so good because it was all about this little bit of justice, but also it was a reminder of how the system is tilted against people of color and people of lower economic status. And it will both inflame you a little, but also hearten you a little bit. And this guy is just the sweetest guy. I am so happy that freaking Larry David filmed his show that one day.
Right, and that this guy got in past the PA.
Yeah, and they talked to the PA who says, you know what? I think I was just a shitty PA, and I'm really glad I was so shitty. And this guy was getting all.
I'm so glad I'm posted.
Glad
I did do my job.
He was getting all teared. He was getting teared up about it and stuff. It's a really well made, nice, short, like an hour, 48 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
But a really well made, high quality, single thing documentary that is just awesome. So go watch it. It's Long Shot. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. 2017 is when it came out. It's out. It's up there now. And I think you'll really like it. They have a couple other actors on that talk about they were there that day too. And so they were like part of the, they became part of the investigation because the girl playing the prostitute was like, yeah, we were there. And
I remember this guy.
Yeah. It was really interesting. So you should see it and see for yourself if you liked it as much as I did.
Very,
it was very
cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. When they, sorry, I don't want to just give it away, but they did find out who really killed the girl in the end. And it just goes to show that if you're lazy about evidence collecting or you're just biased toward your community, you can really F up people's lives or potentially. He could have gotten the death penalty, like straight up.
Ugh.
It would have been bad. And he didn't do anything. It just seemed like the nicest guy. And his little girl's so cute. She had to testify in court and everything. And she was so cute.
Aww.
Anyway. All right, Nicole. Speaking of cute, I have no idea what you're doing. Tell us what you brought today. Doesn't have to be cute.
So I have been drunk on nostalgia lately. I've been going back through and there's right now, for whatever reason, there's a lot of stuff that it's going after those memories for me.
Yeah.
So I have two things. I have a show and I have a documentary.
All right.
Okay.
Here's the show.
All right, here we go. We have a show.
It's going to give it away. I just did trailers, so it's going to say what it is.
All right.
Whatever.
Let's see how this goes. Oh, it didn't open. Why? Let me open it in its own window. Sorry, everybody. Hold on. Okay, let's just... why is that happening? Okay, that's being weird. All right, hold on, you guys. Discord's being funky. Okay, there we go. And now audio and volume.
This is the true story
of 7 strangers.
I can't believe we're in the same place.
Okay.
It still smells the same. It still looks the same. Okay, we are officially re-roommated.
Oh my God.
This is where we live.
This is totally insane.
This is not going to happen. They can't do this to 7 people.
If I'm attracted to someone of my own sex, why should I be so afraid of it?
Get off the black-white thing!
It's a reality.
Find out what happens
When people stop being polite.
And start getting real.
All over again.
No way.
I can't believe we're back 30 years later.
We gonna party?
Yes!
Ooh, the neighbors are going to be pissed. Oh boy.
I didn't meet any cute boys tonight.
I didn't either.
What was it like after you had come out on the show?
It was hard.
My friends laughed at me.
All right.
He represents what we all need to be, which is love.
It's 29 years later and we're still having...
Oh my gosh, look at these middle-aged people.
Yeah.
It's freaking me out.
It's us. We are the middle.
I know. This show came out
We
and
have
I was
seen
like,
the enemy, and they are us.
Like, what were we? We were their age. We were like 22, Brian. We were like 21, 22 years old when this came out.
90. So this was. So for those of you that are young that are listening to the show, this came out in 1992. This is really the first reality show.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that laid the foundation for everything that you see today.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how it was going to happen. Like, you get an inside view from this reunion. So this is the Real World Homecoming. It's on Paramount Plus. I think there's 3 episodes out. I've only seen 1 because I was like very impacted by it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, me, I'm going to cry. So I cried. I wasn't expecting to cry. There was just there's a lot of packed into that, because I remember when it came out and I was hooked on it, and it was just like nothing. There was nothing like it on TV.
What were you then? Probably like 16, 17, something like that? 18?
92, I was 16. I was probably a sophomore junior.
Brian and I were like
school.
22, going on 23. Mm-hmm. It's a specific moment in time, right? Like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to explain, but for me,
it's very
like
specific.
The beginning of my 20s. It's this like really specific moment. And I understand if people didn't have the connection with it, why they'd hear about this and just go, whatever, freaking real world,
whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah.
But I'm personally, I feel like I have a little bit wrapped up in this, like you do. I kind of want to see it and feel that. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's
and
weird.
Well, going back
to
it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, as you say, I never got into the New York. Like I started watching during the 2nd season, so I never really got to know this first New York crew. I got to know them through reunions and things like that they would do later on with all the different groups. But if they do one of the 2nd or 3rd season of this, the LA or
with Puck. Oh my God, remember Puck?
Yeah.
Oh, totally remember Puck and Pedro and
season 3, right?
Pedro. I mean, you have to understand, at the time, gay characters were not on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was real people that, Norman was real. He was nice. Pedro had AIDS, and it was like that time was scary for a lot of people that didn't understand AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like the show in those early years, it was more important to a lot of people than I think you realize.
And it also,
I didn't realize until I watched it.
They hadn't figured out how to do the manipulative editing as well back then, right? So it was, you'd get instead of them having to make somebody the bad guy, it's like, Puck kind of stepped right into that role. We didn't have to like add tense music or saw blades on metal to get the villain sound for Puck. He did it himself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of those early days of reality before, when reality was a little closer to real. Still, obviously still they're editing out.
Well, the 7 of them, they come into this reunion and they talk about they had no idea what they were getting into, because the way that they were cast was they were looking, the casting call was, we're looking for musicians, artists to film basically a documentary. They had no idea this concept of reality TV because it just didn't exist. So the producers actually wanted something totally different than what they gave them.
Yeah.
And it blew up. And it was real. And they were talking about race. I mean, we're still talking, and that's what is really, I think, interesting to go back is it's all the same. But I feel like our lens is hopefully changing.
Yeah.
And Kevin, I really, really wanted to hear from him. And I just kind of looking back at the fight that he had with Julie, and it's just I recommend it, especially if you grew up on it or if you watched it when it came out, or even if you're younger and you kind of want to see, because they have all on Paramount Plus, they actually have the first season of The Real World. I think they have a lot of The Real Worlds. It goes up to, I think, season 6, and then it just kind of stops. And then it picks up in like the 2000s, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah. I'll admit I had kind of a crush on Julie. She was the one from Alabama, right?
Oh, Julie, yeah.
Yeah, Julie.
Yeah, I had a crush on her.
I will say those later Real Worlds, I was just reading the descriptions. They were really trying hard to make it interesting, where they would bring people in and then they would bring somebody that you knew that you had a problem with in just to create the drama. I was like, oh, I don't even want to go near that.
We found we found somebody that is super racist, and we're gonna put him in a house with somebody, basically it's like,
you had a problem with your ex 10 years ago, well, here she is.
Yeah.
She's gonna make your life hell.
It's too bad because those, I'm sure it sold more. I'm sure it got higher ratings and stuff because they don't do that.
It did because I don't recognize any of those
Well,
people.
you don't,
Like,
but what I'm saying is
they
like
stopped making them.
They did. Well, did they? I think they kept going.
They
right?
did.
Oh, well, I don't know.
2016, I think, was the last one I think I saw in the list.
Yeah, and that's a long run.
At least it's on Paramount.
That's a long run, 92 to 2016 or whatever it was. Like, that's a lot.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
I actually sent in a videotape to try to be on the Real World.
Do you have that tape? Do you have video? I want to see this.
No. This is back in 2000.
Yeah.
And so it was like one of those little camcorders, the little tiny, not the big giant VCR ones, but the little tiny ones.
You don't have this? Do you have this somewhere? Do you have like a tape?
No, I haven't. There's only one copy. I sent it off to New York or wherever the heck the casting call was. And I'm sure it was in thousands upon thousands. And they popped it in and said, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really want to see that tape. I can't. Now it's all I think about is wanting to see your tape. I see. Here's the thing. Those first 3 or so episodes, or first 2 or 3 seasons of that show, I thought were like, hey, interesting look into people's lives. And then it got weird. And then reality TV itself got weird, and the standard today is weird, and I hate it. I don't enjoy it at all.
Yeah. I don't either.
Sometimes when it's contest related, sure, sort of, but even that stuff's lame. That's why everyone loves the British Bake Off so much, because it kind of goes back and says, yeah, there's competition, but also let's just have people be normal and not fake rivalries and all this stuff.
Exactly.
And so I really hope that if people see this and they have nostalgia for it, like maybe this will do really well for them, and it'll spark better reality show style, like more documentary straight tellings of people's life stories. It must sell to be goofy like the way they do it today. It must, or why would they do it? Like, I can't imagine any other reason, but I hate it. And if they want me back, they got to give me something more real.
Can you name the, like, say the first 3 Real Worlds? It was New York.
Yeah, New York, LA, then San
LA,
Francisco.
and San Francisco.
San Francisco.
And then was the 4th New Orleans? No?
Miami or Florida.
Chicago?
Was it Florida? When did they do London? I think London was the last one I watched.
Oh, London was the 4th.
Was London the 4th?
I think so.
I thought they did.
It's so hard. They start to mix, and then they started doing.
Yeah, 95.
Then they started doing road rules.
Yeah,
and then that I was like, my brain can't take anymore.
Yeah, it was 95.
Yeah, I remember watching the first Vegas season and the second New York season. I think we probably stuck it out through maybe the first 6 or 7 seasons, and then it just started to feel too it felt too manufactured.
Yeah.
So that was 95.
Yeah.
That was season 4. I just confirmed it. London.
Highly recommend The Real World. Homecoming on Paramount Plus. I had weird dreams that night too. I mean, it affected me way more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah. I suspect there's a little bit of also acknowledging how much time has passed and people's lives change, and your own life has changed
They all
a
show
lot.
up. They're all there too.
So the rocker dude,
I thought the grind dude had to back out or something. Eric
is there. He's there.
Okay. All right.
He's there.
I'm in. I'm going to watch it. I have a connection.
I will say there's a conversation that they have talking about. I think friendship in general is like this. I have friends from high school that I haven't seen in years, but I still consider them a good friend. And years just kind of happen. And then you look back and you're like, it's been 29 years. What the hell? What happened?
Yeah.
So if anything, it's a reminder to reach out to people that you care about too.
So just real quick, the chat room won't stop asking why Nicole has a light over her face. It's her lighting in her room, you guys. It's coming through the window.
Oh, do I?
You're getting like a.
They keep going. What's going on with the technology of today's stream?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, it's light.
Sorry. Here, I'll fix it.
You
look like you're a hard-nosed detective in a film noir.
It's totally fine. It's just the chat room going all web sleuth on me over here about what could possibly be going on. Scott, check with somebody check the engine.
I fell down the rabbit hole of looking at other seasons and remembering Trishelle from Las Vegas and Ruthie and Amaya from the Hawaii season.
I forgot about Hawaii.
Yeah.
I did Hawaii.
Seattle.
One.
I just remember New Orleans because it had a girl from Utah in it, so everybody freaked out here.
Ava, hold on just a second. Ava, what do you need? What do you need?
She's sign language.
No, you can't buy anything. Go
She's
play.
Flipping her mom off.
This is my life now. Mom, can I buy something on the iPad? No, you can't.
Definitely not.
You don't have a job.
You don't have a job.
We did go back in 2006 and watch the Denver one, and that Denver, the house that is the Denver or was the Denver Real World house is a pretty nice bar and restaurant that you can go to and see, basically what they turned into the house and then turned back into a restaurant bar. It's downtown.
I don't even know if I watched the Denver one. Now I'm curious.
I didn't know there was a Denver one. That's news.
Yeah.
They never did an SLC.
All right, so that's the show
right
on Paramount Plus.
All right.
It's so weird that they call it this. I'm glad that honestly CBS All Access was kind of lost on a lot of the stuff that was in there. So rebranding that I think was probably a good idea.
It was, but their sign up process sucks. I went to go try the trial and they kept saying, "Sorry, something wrong with your login," and wouldn't tell me what. So I'm like, well, all right then. I guess I'm not using Paramount Plus. It's like, what are you guys even doing? They wouldn't let me sign up. Anyway, long story.
All right, so this one is a documentary on Netflix. Very easy watch. And here you go.
Okay, here we go. I'm hitting play. Hold on to your butts, everybody. Play is the button I'm hitting. Here it comes.
In a world where video stores have all but disappeared.
Good choice.
I mean, look at the James Bond section. Every James Bond movie. Every Avatar movie, because, there's just the one so far.
Hey, late fees. But I understand that you had to do it, otherwise people just keep those videos. I know I did.
Meet Sandy, the Blockbuster mom.
So when I started in 2004, Blockbuster Video had roughly 9,000 stores and over 60,000 employees. And now...
The world has moved on, it says. So I almost hit play on this last night and then was tired and didn't do it. How is it?
I hit play on this the night before last and loved it.
It's such an easy watch. It's not like you kind of know. You know what's going to happen. You know
Mm-hmm.
the end of it. The documentary is called The Last Blockbuster. The Last Blockbuster. The Last Blockbuster.
Got it.
Kevin Smith did this documentary.
Did he?
And,
I thought he just got
did.
interviewed for it.
No, it says right here, Kevin Smith
really?
documentary.
Okay.
But maybe he didn't. I don't know. He's in it. Let me.
He's
just
definitely in
verify
it
that
getting
now.
interviewed. But then you've got
maybe it's just some misreading.
Ron Funches and
Who did it?
Oh, it's directed by
Well, he's in it.
Taylor Morden, whoever Taylor Morden is.
Okay, so I wonder if
He's
Kevin
just in
Smith's in it.
Yeah.
He's just in it as one of the interviewed celebrities. Also, Jamie Kennedy is in it, and they're so
like
this
one of the guys
document-
from Smash Mouth, the guitarist from Smash Mouth, and
Really?
one of the lead vocals from Savage Garden. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
The guy who's
there's a
in
guy,
front of all the
voice
Star Wars posters.
actor.
Oh yeah,
he's the voice
and
actor.
He's the Clone Wars. Yeah, Clone Wars voice actor. Does a
So this
killer
kind of
to
takes
the
you
Walker.
through the history of video store rental, because I thought it was very poignant, because there's no music store rental. There's, why is there video store rental? And they kind of take you back through the history of, and I'm going to take you on a little journey of when I was a little girl and wanted to watch Ghostbusters at home. Because when video stores came out, you couldn't afford the VCR. You couldn't afford the tape. The tapes were $100.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was these small mom and pop shops would buy a couple copies and then rent them out. And the big studios priced them that high because the way they looked at it was, well, if we're going to put this on a VCR tape and 20 people are going to watch it, we're losing money in the theater. So we have to price these movies high. And so the whole concept of renting the movies came about because it was just too damn high. It was too damn much. And so when I was a kid, my dad rented a VCR. Our local mom and pop shop was called the Home Cinema, and it was just an experience. You went in, there was just racks and racks of movies. The movies were never on the rack. You had to take the box to get the movie. And there was a back room with the little beads on it.
Just the way they describe it, exactly like them. Yeah.
We had that. I was totally so they would know anytime anybody went into that back room, because that's the naughty room. So kids wouldn't go back there. And because of these small little things, you had Blockbuster that came in that kind of sanitized the whole process and also made it really easy to find the newest releases. And they go into the documentary and say how they did that and working with the studios and all that. But it's really interesting to watch this documentary to see kind of the rise and the fall of video rental and why Blockbuster went out of business, because it wasn't Netflix.
No,
so
that's the surprising thing. Yeah, that was my today I learned from that thing. But but this woman is so great. Carol, the Blockbuster mom in Bend, Oregon, goes out and gets. I thought it was Carol. Yeah, she goes out.
That was
was
Kelly.
it not? Kelly. Anyway, she goes out and buys the movies. If people want a movie that they don't have, she goes to Target or Amazon and buys it so that people can rent it, and it's just super cool.
Her name is Sandy, by the way.
Sandy.
Sandy.
Sorry. Kelly. Sandy. Whatever.
Carol. Kelly.
Certified 76. He asked about what was it? Not the VCRs. No, it was Codes from Home, saying the VCRs are expensive again because nobody makes them anymore. I'm going to recommend, if you are looking for a VCR, go to shopgoodwill.com.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Nice.
You can find them there all the time.
The one we had, Nicole, same thing. We rented the VCR and the movies for the weekend, right? So it'd be the VCR and 5 movies, and it was like $15-$20 or something.
Yeah.
But,
and you just watch the hell out of them.
Exactly.
over and over and over and over again.
Well, I told you guys I had that friend, or I told Brian, but I had that friend who was the son of the prison warden at our prison here in the state. and he somehow had a connection where he could get bootleg versions of like all the Star Wars movies, E.T., whatever, these bootleg ass freaking versions of these tapes, and we would share these around junior high, and everybody's watching like totally illegal versions of like Empire Strikes Back from this kid whose dad was the prison warden. It's so weird. I'll never forget it.
Like people would halfway through the movie, you'd see people getting up to go get popcorn, like blocking the screen for a minute.
In a couple of cases, yeah, like the E.T. copy had that.
Yeah.
And it looked terrible. The sound was terrible. But the other ones, like we had an Indiana Jones copy that was legit, but so copied so many times that it was degraded. It looked terrible. And it was just like choppy and grungy and stuff, but we loved it. We didn't care. We were just like, put it on repeat. Oh my gosh, Indy, bad dates, Indy. We didn't care.
I have a really weird history with movies and I guess illegal activity because my dad had one of those big giant I grew up in the country. Like nearest neighbor was 2 miles away. So he had one of those big giant satellite dishes that you had to like turn to get to the different satellites. Mm-hmm. And early on, HBO, all those companies, they didn't like lock that down. They would put them on these wild feeds and you could just watch movies.
Right.
And so my dad would do that and we would fill up VCR tapes. You could fit 3 movies to a VCR tape. And we had hundreds of VCR tapes just full of like movies, and I would go through and categorize them.
If you're recording in EP mode, right? The extended play mode. If you want the higher quality.
No, you couldn't fit that many.
Mode.
Yeah.
But we were all about quantity, not quality, with movies that we would take off the satellite dish.
Oh yeah, and if there was something scrambled, we'd sit there for hours trying to see if we could see a boob or whatever. We were into it.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, I think I saw
nothing
something.
was scrambled. Nothing was scrambled when we were doing it.
Oh, well, ours were. We could never get. You couldn't get any of the channels, like any premium cable style channels. None of that on ours. Yeah. But
did you have the big giant satellite dish?
Oh yeah. And we get it aiming at the right thing. And we knew it was on the HBO thing, but it was being scrambled because my parents or whoever, wherever we were, would scramble it. So we just sit and look at this fuzz going, I know there's going to be something.
Did you have the satellite remote control that was like a big, wide, brown, wood-paneled box with buttons that you'd push for each channel as opposed to like numbers?
Yeah.
And you'd hit it.
D4 was my favorite satellite. I had a couple favorite satellites because I think D4 on Saturday at like 2:00, Tales from the Dark Side would come on.
Oh my God.
I had like a whole system of my own channel guide in my head because you just never knew what you were gonna find.
You knew what you liked. Yeah. You knew what you liked.
Yeah.
Well, this is fantastic. Great recommendations all around. I meant to watch that. I'm gonna now for sure. And the rest of it all sounds good too. Nicole puts the stuff on her Twitter account.
I do.
Which you can find at Nicole Spag. And Nicole, you'd be happy to know that behind Don Cheeto's head in the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there's a little picture that there's my name is up there saying I vanished during the snap.
Saw that. I was wondering what was going on with that. That's awesome.
And what's more, what do I like more, that or that it's Don Cheeto in front of it? And I'm not sure which. I thought of you though.
Don Cheeto.
Yeah, old Don
Love
Cheeto.
Him so much.
Nicole Spag, have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time. Sorry, Brian.
Captain Kipper found that exact remote control, the wood-paneled remote control thing. I'll put it in our Discord chat.
Please, let's see it.
That is the satellite remote control with like.
Look at that thing. Are you kidding me?
Each channel, I guess each one, if it was in 3 positions, it would give you a different button. Look at that damn thing.
I'm going to zoom in on this and show the chat room. Look at this chat room. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh. Seriously, that is bringing memories back. And anybody who had one of those big ones, this is what you did. This is just the best you had.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Look at
That's
that.
great.
It's like something you could play Pong on or something.
It does. And the wood paneling. Remember when our devices used to have wood paneling?
Oh, those were the days. All right. Excellent work, everybody. Well done. We went long there, so I'm going to end early. Not early, but not going to do our mashup till tomorrow. We'll do a bonus tomorrow. Don't you worry. We'll save it.
We'll cut Wendy short and we'll do a mashup.
Yeah, it'll all be fine. All right. That is going to do it for today. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Thanks for supporting us over at patreon.com/TMS. And if you want to get a little extra on top of that, subscribe to that newsletter. That's over at frogpants.club, CLUB. It's also linked on the main site, which you can find at frogpants.com/TMS. Send us your emails and your feedback. Tell us why we're wrong about how we say Jaguar. I don't know. Whatever you want. themorningstream@gmail.com. Okay, Brian. Unless you've got anything else, let's do a song.
As if we need to tell people to email us about things that they don't like or that we get wrong. Yeah, as if. All right. What are we playing today? No, Bagheera. That is a remote control. That is not a cable box. That's an actual remote control.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, let's go to a birthday for friends Barry Folk. Actually, for Bobby Ann. It's Bobby Ann's birthday, or as Scott once called them, Barry Ann and Bobby Folks. Barry wrote in and said, "Hi, Brian. I happened across this song while randomly wandering through 80s cover songs today. Really enjoyed her take and thought it'd be nice to play for Bobby Ann's birthday. I've never heard of Bishop Briggs before, but I'm really enjoying her music. Thanks, signed Barry." Now the truth needs to come out, because this song isn't just something that randomly came up, Barry. This is from the soundtrack to 50 Shades Freed.
Barry.
It's a cover. So now you're busted. Now we know where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
This is Never Tear Us Apart, originally by In Excess, performed here by Bishop Briggs for the 50 Shades Freed soundtrack from 2018.
Oh, fantastic. Film I didn't see. All right, here you go, everybody. Enjoy this, and we'll be back tomorrow with a Thursday edition of the show. We'll see you then. This show is part of the Frogpants Network.
Frogpants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Hey, buddy, did you just see a real bright light